Hi, my name is Ansar Fatani and presenting with Audrey Thompson, and today we'll be talking about the Engineer Factory.
Hi, my name is Audrey Thompson, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Engineer Factory. And this handsome young man is my oldest son, Jalen, and he is my why for creating the Engineer Factory. I knew Jalen was destined to be an engineer since the time he was 6 and imprisoned his 2-year-old sister in a Connex contraption. He was fortunate that his middle school was one of very few in Inglewood and South LA region to offer a MESA program, and his teacher, Miss Janota, was a once-in-a-lifetime teacher who had high expectations for all of her predominantly African-American and Latinx students. They competed in several aerospace contests against teams in more affluent schools. He texted us, there's 3 of us, there's 4 of us. I knew that meant that there were 3 or 4 African-Americans or students of color out of hundreds in the competition. Despite that, they ended up being one of the winningest teams in Southern California. But I wanted to do something to promote STEM in frequently underrepresented communities. But my background is in nonprofits, not engineering. But Engineer Factory is me being mama bear and finding opportunities for Jalen, then sharing info and creating opportunities for other kids in the community. This desire turned into the Engineer Factory's mission to offer science, technology, engineering, and math activities earlier and consistently to K-12 students in underserved communities, creating a culture of STEM. Since founded in 2016, the Engineer Factory has served more than 9,000 diverse, commonly low-income students in Inglewood, South LA, and surrounding neighborhoods.
Given their already extensive track record in the local community, we would like to propose the next chapter of EF's impact on South LA. We've identified this as a perfect opportunity to provide homeschoolers with hybrid enrichment classes in novel subjects like building computers, constructing and running underwater robots, and even getting your drone flight certification. Not only are these subjects rare to even find in wealthier school districts, but they also serve as perfect hands-on opportunities for disadvantaged students to be exposed and see themselves in advanced STEM careers. Importantly, we figured out how to provide such classes out of no out-of-pocket cost to the student or their family, instead utilizing government education stipends that homeschoolers already receive. Allow me to explain. The state sends funds to homeschool students that are registered with charter organizations. Students then select courses from their charter's approved vendors, and the state stipend covers the fees. So, at no direct burden to the families, we can provide effective and novel curriculum to the kids of South LA. Students are being stripped of the choice to pursue STEM education because their public schools are not giving them the opportunity to do so. Consequently, more families in the South LA region are opting for homeschooling to give their children a quality education. The homeschool market is growing. From spring 2020 to fall 2021, Black families choosing to homeschool rose from 3.3 to 16.1%. Parents are increasingly looking towards alternatives due to the current political climate, exposed gaps in education, and negative mental health impacts associated with traditional schooling, making homeschooling an increasingly large market. We were able to connect with the local homeschool contact in the South LA region who expressed how homeschoolers in the area are in desperate need of educational opportunities in STEM. And we plan on reaching out to this target demographic by contacting homeschool parents directly from prior EF programs, registering as a vendor in community groups, and direct canvassing. Based on our business model, the Engineer Factory plans to offer its services on course-by-course basis as 7-week programs sourced from state homeschool education stipends. Our strategy is to partner with local homeschool charters and offer courses that cater to the STEM education needs of students. Let me show you how we're going to do this venture. First, we will start our 3 pilot courses where families will use charter funding to pay for the classes. After proof of concept, we can then expand our programming to 6 courses per classroom per term. Fortunately for us, all of these programs are easily replicable, regardless of location. While EF is based in Los Angeles, the only true barrier from expanding to other underserved areas is establishing that initial network.
The competitors in this market fit in one of two categories. Our indirect competitors can't offer the exposure to engineering as a career that our niche programs can. Most of our direct competitors lack key points of homeschool course flexibility. But at its core, our competitors are not in our community. They're not in South LA, often more than 40 and 50 minutes away. We are the only provider based in our target market. Some of our other advantages include our South LA physical space. We call it our STEM gym, access to career applicable curriculums, and partnerships with neighboring nonprofits such as South LA Robotics. Children's education should be fun, applicable, and social, and only we can provide that. Only we have done that.
Since we grow on a course-by-course basis, we expect to see significant staggered revenue growth. Additionally, our operating expenses are growing at a much lower rate, disproportionately to our revenue for increased profitability in later years. Significant costs pertain primarily to our rent and staffing. And due to conservative estimates and the omission of grant funding, which is up to 50% of our competitors' revenues, you may note our narrow net margins, which is something we'd be happy to address in the QA segment. We aim to break even in our second year of operations and cover all of our cumulative operating losses by year 3. We've listed some of the major assumptions on the right, with the most important being the growth timeline of offerings.
The Engineer Factory is a family affair where we have dedicated our lives to improving and empowering our community. Our teams bring decades of compassionate, culturally relevant capacity to programs. I earned my master's and bachelor's from UCLA and have 30 years of nonprofit leadership experience, having successfully raised more than $60 million in funds for various nonprofits. Ariana currently directs our school-based programs that serve 2,500 students annually. And Jalen is a Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute graduate and an electrical engineer with extensive experience in vetting engineering curriculum. We also benefit from seasonal staff members and dozens of volunteers.
But we can't do it alone. Following base financial projections, we need an estimated $28,000 in initial capital to pilot our program in the first 6 months, mostly spent on qualified instructors, classroom space, and administrative costs. With your support, you can help Engineer Factory give the kids of South LA the chance to dream.
We call our high school students our cogs because they keep everything moving. They move on to college and then they become our legacies. EF's goal is to expose, engage, educate, excite, and empower our students to thrive in STEM education pursuits. We are excited to bring these opportunities to a growing homeschool community. Thank you in advance for investing in the Engineer Factory and in our kids.